There are big changes coming to Tokyo DisneySea, specifically Fantasy Springs, starting April 1st. So if you're visiting after April 1st, you're going to want to keep watching because this is really important. If you're new here, Explorers, my name is Chris, aka TDR Explorer, and I've been living in Japan for well over a decade and visiting the theme parks around this wonderful country, including Tokyo Disney Resort, Universal Studios Japan, Ghibli Park, and so many more. I love sharing all my practical advice for you because things work very differently here. So if you want more content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like button so you do not miss anything, okay? The moment we've been all waiting for, Fantasy Springs is a little more straightforward to experience now at Tokyo DisneySea. So Fantasy Springs is the new expansion that opened in June 2024 that has 4 attractions, restaurants, and even a new hotel. And it was a little complicated to get into, but starting from April 1st, you can wait in the standby line, the regular standby line of all the attractions. So that includes Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey, Rapunzel's Lantern Festival, Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure, and Fairy Tinkerbell's Busy Buggies. I usually call it Fairy Terry's. I don't know why. This just makes it so much easier because before that, you had to get a standby pass, which was effectively a virtual queue to even get in the physical standby line for any of these attractions, which if you weren't there early enough, you could miss out, or if you didn't know, you could also miss out. So this is such a wonderful change. In addition to that, Fantasy Springs, you can walk in freely whenever you want. You don't have to do anything extra to get inside anymore. And they've been doing this since January, so you can come and go from Fantasy Springs whenever you like. It doesn't matter. As long as you are in the park, you can go into Fantasy Springs. And after April 1st, you can just wait in the regular standby line. That's just, so happy for this change. It's just going to make things so much easier. Editor's note, you still need to do mobile order to dine at the 3 restaurants. So the Peter Pan restaurant, the Rapunzel restaurant, and the Frozen restaurant. You do that through the Tokyo Disney Resort app. You do a mobile order. They're pretty easy to get. So once you get your DPAs and stuff all sorted, then do a mobile order. It's fairly easy to get a reservation, so you don't need to worry. And as for the gift shop, you can just walk in. Last time I checked, you can just walk in, so that you don't have to do any passes or anything like that. So, yeah. So in addition to waiting in the regular standby queue, you can also buy Disney Premier Access to skip the line for 3 of the attractions. And this costs 2,000 yen per person if you want to skip the lines to one of the attractions. And you do this through the Tokyo Disney Resort, website. You do it through the Tokyo Disney Resort app, and you can only do it the day of your visit. So once you're inside the park, you scan everyone's tickets into the park, then you can start buying Disney Premier Access for these attractions. So that includes Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey, Rapunzel's Lantern Festival, and Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure. There's no Disney Premier Access for Fairy Terry. The cost is 2,000 yen per person, as I mentioned, and you can buy them for the group. All you have to do is make a group in the Tokyo Disney Resort app with everyone that's in your party. Make sure all the tickets are scanned in, and you can do it through there and buy it for everybody in your group. And you can buy more than one Disney Premier Access. There's just a time frame that you have to wait. The best thing to do is just check inside the app. So once you buy your Disney Premier Access, it'll tell you when you can buy your next one. My initial strategy, I'm just kind of thinking about this here. I haven't done it yet, of course, because I'm recording this before April 1st. But if you want me to do a video on the ground come April 1st, please let me know in the comments. Please. So my initial thought would be, once you get into Tokyo DisneySea, I would buy Disney Premier Access for Frozen first, because that is the most popular attraction at Fantasy Springs, or inside the Fantasy Springs area. So the Disney Premier Access for that will run out first. I'm pretty sure it will. So what I would initially do is, once you're in the park, get Disney Premier Access for Frozen, and then get into the standby line for Rapunzel's Lantern Festival. Rapunzel's Lantern Festival is a little short, so, I don't really think you need to pay the 2,000 yen to skip the line for something that's a little bit shorter. Use that money to get the one for Frozen. And then make sure you take note of when you can buy your next Disney Premier Access. So do Rapunzel, then go head on over and do very Tinkerbell's Busy Buggies. And then maybe by then you should be able to buy the next Disney Premier Access. And I would do that for Peter Pan if you think the wait is long and you don't want to wait in the standby line. For Peter Pan, that queue is pretty big and it moves pretty quickly. Or, you can buy Disney Premier Access for one of the other attractions in the park. Because there's more to Tokyo DisneySea than Fantasy Springs, but that's a whole other ball game. But I'm just talking about Fantasy Springs today. How early do you need to get to the park? I get asked this all the time. A lot of people, there's a lot of exaggeration happening on social media. People are saying, you need to line up at 4 a.m. You don't need to line up at 4 a.m. No, you don't need to do that. Man, you really don't have to. And especially now, I don't think, no. A good hour and a half before park open is more than sufficient. And if you have the happy entry, which is the early entry that's included with your stay at one of the Disney hotels, an hour before the time that it says that you can go into the park, an hour before that. And I think that's more than sufficient. And, if you're really keen, maybe an hour and a half. Or if it's like a weekend or like a national holiday, maybe even 2 hours. But even then, hour and a half is probably the max I would do. So don't stress yourself out too much. I know there's you see the lines on social media and everything. A lot of people talk about that and don't give a lot of context. I did a video last year, so you can go and watch that. I'll put it up on the screen for you so you can go and watch that later. And I talk about the lines and kind of give you a little more context on what all these different lines mean. Now, the one question is, how busy is this going to make Fantasy Springs? Are the wait times going to skyrocket for these attractions? Probably. They did do some testing before. I think back in January for a day. They just opened up the standby to everyone. And I know Frozen shot up to over 200 minutes. I think Peter Pan was quite high as well, and same with Rapunzel. So we'll have to wait and see what happens after April 1st, but I expect for the first while, it's going to be, the wait times are going to get pretty high up there. And then we'll kind of probably see things maybe start leveling out a little bit once, people kind of figure out the strategy a little bit more and things of that nature. So for the first bit, I just expect it to be busy. It is what it is. I'm going to do another video talking about Tokyo Disney in terms of its busyness, because I also get asked that a lot. Long story short, it's just going to be busy when you go. So just plan for it to be busy. Increased tourism here in Japan. And every month we seem to be breaking records with tourists coming to Japan. So these parks were always busy and now they're even busier. So it's just kind of pick something that works best for your schedule and kind of go from that. But I'll talk about that in a separate video because that's a whole other thing. Another thing is the vacation packages. So vacation packages after April 1st no longer include the special Fantasy Springs Magic ticket, which got you entry into Fantasy Springs, and also unlimited rides on the Fantasy Springs attractions. That is gone. After April 1st, that's gone. Don't even think about it if you're visiting afterwards. It's not relevant to you anymore. Just forget that information, okay? So for the vacation packages, so there's 4 to choose from. 3 of them are called Attractions and More, and Attractions, something like that. The names are really strange. But anyway, with those, they do include Fantasy Springs attractions to choose from, so you can make reservations. So think of it as booking your Lightning Lane or your Disney Premier Access or your Fast Pass ahead of time. So when you're going through the reservation process for those vacation packages, you can choose Peter Pan, Frozen, or Rapunzel out of the attractions, eligible attractions, for your time slot to go and experience them. Then you don't have to buy DPA, Disney Premier Access, when you're in the park. But you can if you want. You can buy additional ones with your park ticket. Just make sure it's scanned to the app and everything. And you can buy more the day of your visit. Just remember, for Disney Premier Access, you do not buy it ahead of time. You buy it when you're in the park. Except for these vacation packages, you do it at the time when you're making your reservation. The only asterisk here is the unlimited rides vacation package. With that, it does not include any of the Fantasy Springs attractions. However, when you are making your reservation for that particular package, you can add on Fantasy Springs attractions for an additional charge. So you're basically just paying for the Disney Premier Access at the time of your booking. So it still works kind of the same way as the other 3 that I was just talking about. There's just an extra step and an extra charge in that case. If you want me to do a full breakdown of the vacation packages, because they're very confusing, Please let me know in the comments and I will put something together for you. If you're planning a trip to Tokyo Disney Resort, which you probably are if you're watching this video, please make sure you go and check out our guidebook, our 2025-2026 guidebook on Tokyo Disney Resort. It has everything, everything you need to know to plan your trip to these wonderful parks here in Japan. Sorry, I just realized I was wearing this hat. I forgot to put this on. I put this on like an hour before I started filming, and then I just kind of forgot. I want a cute little tail. This is a Lost Boy hat. It's from Fantasy Springs. They still have these. Anyway, where was I? Guidebook. Yes, Tokyo Disney Resort guidebook. 200 pages of everything you need to know. When to visit, what hotel to choose from, how the vacation packages work, ride strategies, where to eat, all that stuff. And we also have a snack guide that shows 35 curated snacks that are available usually year-round, telling you which ones you should get because there's a lot of snacks. And we even include information on which ones are potentially plant-based, don't contain any meat, or don't contain any wheat, things of that nature. So make sure you go check it out on our website at tdrexplorer.com/books. We have sold thousands of copies. We've been helping explorers plan their trip to Tokyo Disney Resort since 2018 with these guidebooks. I've been doing this since 2009, so I am very experienced with these parks. They are near and dear to my heart. I love them so much, and I know you are gonna love them too. Also, if you need additional help with planning your trip, you can also head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/tdrexplorer, where I do monthly Q&As. I sit down, I take questions from wonderful explorers over on Patreon, and I sit down and I go through these questions. Like, we go through every single one. And we also have a tier where you can have one-on-one with me. You can send me your questions and I'll answer them directly. So if that interests you, please go check it out. It supports the channel. It helps us to continue doing this to help you plan your trip. All right, explorers, thank you so much and have fun in Fantasy Springs. I'm just so happy that things are a little more simplified because before it was very complicated, and I understand why they did it because they didn't want the area to become overrun. But I did see a lot of people online, upset because they didn't understand what was going on and disappointed and not being able to ride the attractions and stuff. I totally get that coming, from overseas and stuff and not being able to ride something because you didn't do the pass because you weren't there early enough. You didn't know. Yeah, it doesn't lead to a great experience. So hopefully this makes things better. I know the lines are probably going to get ridiculously long, but for me personally, I'd rather have the choice to wait in a long line than not at all. That's just my personal opinion. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. We have some really fun videos planned. I know I've been a little all over the place with the videos lately, but we've been working on a Universal Studios Japan guide that's coming out very soon. Our updated version. We just released the Tokyo Disney Resort guidebooks as well. So yeah, we have lots of fun stuff coming. I'll see you in the next one.